if that will like do a thumbnail. So to the VOD people, that's a bit of an Easter egg. Well, we're doing like a birthday stream today, so that's what we'll be up to. I'm gonna play some of my music because this will be like actually, speaking of VOD people, I think this will only be a Patreon thing. So hi patrons. I'm gonna delete the VOD afterwards or unlist it. So I'm just gonna play the music that I want to play. I figure a fitting birthday tune that I was actually rocking out to just before I went live would be Diane Young by Vampire Weekend. So enjoy.
Happy birthday, wise one.
Thanks, brother.
Baby, ride on, baby, 88, you light on, baby, 88, you light on, baby, ride on, time, baby, ride on time. Nobody knows what the future holds, and it's bad enough just getting old. Live my life in self-defense, you know I love the past 'cause I hate suspense. Dying young won't change your mind, baby, right on time.
Nah, I should keep it all birthday theme. I think the next one we'll do for a birthday theme, we'll just do this. This is a song by William Bolton, and it's titled Hell of a Year. Enjoy.
Oh, it's been a hell of a year. It's been a hell of a year. I toured the world and I conquered my fears. Afraid that I'm going broke. Spent all my money on coffee and clothes. But when you look this good, you can feel alright. Living in LA under the sunshine. And the sun's my friend, cause he helps me hide all of my feelings I keep deep inside. Don't waste your time on things that aren't meant to be. Don't wait, the time is now. It's your destiny. Be young, be dope, be proud. Make some memories. Oh, like, it's been a hell of a year. I lost my girl and my friends disappeared. Afraid that I'll die alone. still haven't made it, but I'm not that far. Don't waste your time on things that aren't meant to be. Don't wait, the time is now. It's your destiny. Be young, be dope, be proud. Make some memories. Oh, like, it's been a hell of a year. I toured the world and I conquered my fears. It's been a hell of a year. It's been a hell of a year. It's been a hell of a year.
Hi. Thanks for everybody for showing up. I know it's a bit of a like an impromptu thing, so I didn't expect many people to pop in. Oh my god. Thank you so much, fitness stream. You probably got such a good looking body with a name like that. So very, very handsome and capable. I hope you have a wonderful year too. He requested that, so there you go. He gets what he requests. Happy birthday. Thank you. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. A separate thanks to everybody in the Discord who wished me similar. Arigato gozaimasu. I like how like when I'm in a good mood, the roasting also like comes out. Like when Booksmarts is off his game, either like one way or the other, like I'm really, really pissed or I'm really, really happy or whatever, my roast smarts just comes out. I can't keep the mask on, you know what I'm saying? I was going to say thank you to everybody, but my streamer friends, none of whom have sent me a birthday wish. Not to put any of them on the spot, but I have not heard happy birthday from any of my streamer friends as of yet today. So I look forward to those later. But thank you to all my viewers who have stopped by and said as much. And thanks for that.
Wanted to say you are one of the absolute most enjoyable content creators on the platform, and happy birthday.
Thanks, Ald Melder. I appreciate it. It's 1 a.m., bookfuck. You doing streaming? Oh, you need commas in there, Bryce. Yeah. I mean, I was gonna stream at fucking 7 o'clock in the morning for me, or like 5 o'clock in the morning for me. I couldn't sleep, and I've been watching this show called Raised by Wolves. I don't know if any of you have caught that or maybe heard about it. It's kind of like a sci-fi show from like last year. I think it came out maybe around September. I am really, really, really enjoying it. I was disappointed to look up other people enjoying it online and be confronted with the endless swarms of people who found it to be the counterculture movement to hate it, which is also part of why I don't engage in communities that talk about TV shows and shit that they like online, because there's an entire subsection of people for whom consuming media content means picking the things that you hate the most and then spending all your time talking about those, which is what we do here, so I'm part of the problem. Have you seen Doctor Who? I've seen it. I don't like Doctor Who very much, and I stomached like a lot of 13 of the 13th Doctor, I think it was. So I mean, I've tried. And when the helper was that young I guess you just say black. That young black woman, I forget. I don't know any of the names of like British actors or anything, but I've seen that one as well. I was in it for the Doctor in the 13th one, I think, and then where the lady was like a ginger cop. But yeah, outside of that, I don't know. Dr. Snooze, yeah, more like it. I don't know. It's just not my kind of thing. Not my kind of thing. I could see how people could have a cult following, because if you like it, it seems to be the same vibe throughout the whole thing. So, Doctor, who the fuck asked? I don't know. Why don't you scroll the fuck up and learn how to read, dumb fuck? I only have a second to drop in, but happy birthday. Thanks, Nico. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a hell of a year. I think that was as good of any of a Spotify track to kind of end the waiting screen on. Yeah, this time last year, let's think. The van had broken down somewhere in like between March and May, I believe it was. Because the motorcycle, I believe, broke down in April. So around this time, I was kind of, and thank you, Sourcing Support, for the sub. Around this time last year, I was probably just getting to be like legitimately homeless. Like, oh, were these gifted subs? There's a bunch of them. I'm not sure because my restream client is doesn't tell me anything. Doesn't tell me much of anything. Yeah, a bunch of gifteds from K.A. Dogan. He's gifted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow. Thank you, Dogan. I'm sure all those folks appreciate that. One Yoriko, 20 Doge, Roland Slot, and Sourcing Support. Yeah, all those people, lucky individuals. And of course, I'm the luckiest of all of them. There's to that one. Happy birthday, bookfucker. Ooh, wasn't me. It was you, though. Congrats on making it another year. Yeah, basically. I mean, it's like congratulations to me, but like pat on the back and like a separate applause to all of you guys, you know? It's like so tough to pick a direction when you want to talk about like, thank you for that. When you want to talk about making it another year. That's such a very particular way of putting it. But the last year has felt like that. It does feel like making it through the year, right? For many, many people all across the globe, it's been rough. It's been a tough year for everybody. For me in particular as well. I know the problems that I had involved with it. I didn't lose a loved one or a family member to this shit, so, you know, knock on wood. Yeah, it's not been an easy year for most people. So the fact that all of us are here and all of us have made it through, and it sounds like at least some of you have seen my content before and you appreciate it, you know, hats off to you guys too, because you have also made it through a year with me, and you know that's worth celebrating. Happy birthday, cutie. Thanks. Not safe for work, Jamie Vardy. Thank you.
Have a great birthday. I appreciate you.
Thanks. I appreciate the I appreciate the donation. I also appreciate everybody that shows up and just listens to my dumb ass talk about stuff. When I started this, shortly after talking with Steven, and having, honestly being shocked that DGG treated me nicely at all. I'm going to try and see if that plays any audio. It doesn't look like it will, but I'll go ahead and read your message there, buddy. $20, that's a lot. You know, when I started this, I didn't think it would be anywhere near the amount of success that it has. I thought it would just be a fun thing I would do on the side. Maybe help some people with their homework or with a few papers. It would just give me something fun to do. And as the writing business fell apart, you know, it quickly became like an important component of my life, and I just didn't see it becoming that. Happy birthday, Pog. Keep being awesome. Thank you for that one. And then Wyatt Baker says, happy birthday. You're the best. Keep up the content. Have you watched Bo Burnham's Inside, and did you like it? No, I haven't watched it. Thank you for that. I appreciate the other sub. No, I haven't seen Bo Burnham's thing. I don't get to watch a lot of stuff, and I'm just so particular about what I do. I'm typically not picking stuff that's popular, so that's just unfortunately the way that things go nowadays. It's always like something random. I've spent, I think, in the last week, maybe 15 hours listening to one episode of a podcast. We have a video coming out on the YouTube, maybe in the next week. These alerts, I love it that you guys are all donating, but when the fuck is this shit gonna stop? When can I talk? What is all this? Who's done this to me? Who is showering me with all these gifts of appreciation? Because they're not stopping, and I need to talk. Pissing me off. It's gonna be like this all stream, dude. I already have a feeling. Thank you for the $5. I'm not gonna be able to talk. It's just gonna, like, I wouldn't mind if I had my fucking compressor set up on the computer, but I really don't. Imagine not ignoring donos. Well, I feel bad because people are giving me money. I feel like I'm supposed to say something. So it's tough. Injured Cold, thank you for the Fortnite. They're just gonna keep coming. I think I have to ignore them, guys. I'm so sorry. Unless it's some like crazy amount, I think I really have to ignore these and just try to like get out some kinds of words today because
You did a great job on the Vosh interview. Can't wait for the travel streams.
awesome. You're not getting one. That's what I'm trying to get to. Let me explain, you little fucks. We're working on a different kind of video because after talking to the marketing executive guy who is basically guiding all of the content stuff moving forward, I'm taking these off. After talking to the marketing guy who is guiding a lot of like the content decisions that we're kind of making on the YouTube behind the scenes, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do a vlog necessarily, but there are ways that I can use like on-site footage in a video. So the plan is to do a standalone video that may have more of a broad appeal and maybe like open up the possibility of the YouTube being successful doing content that is not necessarily related to debaters, right? That was the main goal and the takeaway of that stream was I want to take things in a direction where the YouTube and this brand can be successful without the necessity to talk to people like Vosh or Destiny or reviewing debates. Because that would be preferable. We have a good community of people. I think I have an okay personality, and I need to just get over this hump of doing review content all the time and maybe reach out and do other stuff. Even if it means reviewing or sharing content with you guys that I personally love, right? We did that earlier in the week. After the Vosh thing, we talked about In Range TV and Paul Harrell. A video that I'm working on behind the scenes that I really hope turns out well because it's something completely new is I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite podcasts and one of my favorite podcasters, and that would be Dan Carlin. So he has a series called Hardcore History, where he takes different kinds of perspectives on wars throughout history and kind of talks about what it would be like to go through that, what are the stories from that, what had happened in a pretty entertaining way. However, super duper long-winded. Every episode of that is somewhere in the range of like 4 to 6 or 7 hours. So it's a bit like Bookfucker where it takes forever to get through. Most recently, he ended his series on looking at the Japanese during World War II. So this is going to go ahead and follow Japanese history all the way from just about the tail end of World War I going on into the start and end of World War II. And he most recently had his 6th episode in that series, which was almost a 6-hour show in which we talk about the dropping of the atomic bombs. And one thing in the discourse, and this is going to be killing multiple birds with one stone. One thing I see in the discourse, anytime this kind of stuff is brought up, is people like to shit on the Americans for dropping those bombs, like very ignorantly. And they don't talk about what the alternative would have been. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some excerpts from the books that he recommends that you read on his show, and maybe some quotes from Carlin himself, and put those into a video where I'm kind of able to share with you just that little tidbit of that 6-hour podcast. So I just want to make clear the message of like why Plan B wasn't just to like let them off the hook and live happily ever after. Plan B would be a land invasion of Japan. And what would a land invasion of Japan look like? What would firebombings look like, right? We had one major successful firebombing raid in Japan, and it was awful. It killed over 100,000 people. It burned them to death. trapped inside of buildings, like you can read graphic depictions of what had happened during the atomic strikes on those two cities, but you can also read what happened in Tokyo with the firebombing raids, right? And it's not like that would have necessarily been something preferable. And on top of that, you're talking about a tremendous loss of life. And I'm not talking about American or allied troops. I'm talking about like allied civilians, which nobody ever talks about, right? Like the Japanese were holding captive a bunch of different areas of land around them. What had happened at the beginning of World War II is the plan for Japan was to expand out, take over as much territory as they could, dig in, and make it difficult for the Americans and the Allies to take all of that land back. And the hope was, given the democracies that run the war machine, the Americans and other allied powers would grow sick of fighting in the Pacific, and it wouldn't make a ton of sense to lose thousands and thousands of lives fighting over these little spits of islands against the fanatical Japanese who were never going to let them go. And this is something that was going to go all the way to the homeland. If you thought it was difficult to take some of these islands out in the Pacific, imagine trying to go to the homeland and fighting civilians with fucking grenades and bamboo staffs and shit like that. Like you're talking about an immense amount of like difficulty there. And the Japanese, when they took over all this different land, like the Philippines and stuff, they were awful to the captured civilians that lived there. There were massacres upon massacres, and that's like setting aside what happened in China, which was incredibly awful, or Korea, which was incredibly awful. Like these occupied territories were just undergoing some really crazy shit under Japanese control. And so the idea of prolonging the war to avoid using those nuclear weapons, I just don't think is feasible. So what the video is going to do is it's going to talk about some first-person accounts and stories that I mean for you to multiply out to kind of understand what that would look like. So I want to take individual stories about the massacring of these civilians. I want to take individual stories of the Japanese civilians on the home front trying to hold things down, and of the American experience trying to get the Japanese out of these places where they're held up. And so
Sponsored by Notion.
that's a video that I'm really, really excited to work on and record. And I think it'll have more of like a mass appeal. This is anybody who knows anything about World War II or might be interested in learning about it could watch that video. And I think that's a much larger audience than people who know who Destiny or Vosh is. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to do. I have a few locations that I want to go and record at in Tijuana. I have one particular bookstore who I kind of have an okay relationship with, and I'm going to ask them if I can film there. And I think that will be kind of cool. So yeah, I hope to have that done in the next like couple of weeks. Tasate and I are going to work on that and see what'll go into it. But yeah, new stuff. Anywho. It sounds like a really great vid. Looking forward to it. Thanks. Yeah, some crazy fucking stories, dude. Some really crazy stories. I was bawling my eyes out, even typing and listening to it, because to me, who like really gets caught up in that empath stuff, all of Dan Carlin's series that use these firsthand accounts are like really impactful to me, which is why I love his podcast. And that's going to be a whole other component of this and kind of the transitional element, you know, between my old content and this content is like, if you want me to review people or talk about what I love in communication, I love that Carlin is able to communicate what it would have been like to live at these times. A huge theme of that entire podcast, that entire series on the Japanese, is to keep in mind the times and keep in mind what the decisions were and what the attitudes were, the people that lived then. And that even goes to the beginning of the war. In the beginning of the war, you have to keep in mind everybody in the world right now is like super duper racist. So when you hear accounts of the British talking about the Japanese capacity for waging war, or about their discipline, or about their military strategy, they're constantly downplaying it. They're downplaying these little yellow men and all these other like racist ass fucking things that they're saying. And that costs them dearly. Like at the very beginning of the war, the British are taking this like fleet of ships, and they're just sailing in that little area in the Pacific, and they're kind of trying to do a show of force, and the Japanese just sink a bunch of these fucking boats right at the beginning because the British just did not anticipate like the Japanese to be as skilled at like piloting aircraft as they were, and they didn't really understand quite yet, nobody in the world did, how important aircraft were going to be in World War II. Everybody was focused on these giant battleships that were capable of doing all this naval stuff, or some of the land developments that we had seen during World War I. But what hadn't been appreciated is the importance of aircraft and the importance of aircraft carriers, you know, as a kind of extension of that. Being able to have a landing strip with you that you could take anywhere in the Pacific would be super duper important in the war to come. So I love Dan Carlin's series. I think there's a lot of cool stuff in there. There are historical inaccuracies, but whatever. I mean, it's getting you 20 steps past what you would have known knowing nothing about the conflicts, so I don't feel bad about recommending it. But anywho, there's my rant. So that's in the cards. It's something that I want to do, and that's kind of what the video is going to be about, kind of shilling that guy and really pointing people in the direction of his content, and then taking some pieces of that give you maybe a 20-minute sampler of like why I like that, and using his quotes and his sources to tell a story that I want to tell, an abbreviated version or a little bit of a footnote of what he's trying to do in the larger series. All right, I'm going to read a couple of these donations. So 1999 from Sleepy Keys. Happy Birthmas book.
I am pretty firmly in the nukes are really not a vibe camp, but I am excited for this video.
Nukes aren't a vibe. Nukes aren't a vibe. To be clear, like, we should not use them, right? But in this particular instance, at the end of this war, like,
cat face.
a million things are coming together that make sense to use them. Like, another thing that people don't think about is the transition of power between FDR and Truman, right? Like, you had a super duper strong president. He is the only president that has served more than like the 2 terms. Like, people have known this to be their president for like a dozen years. There are some people that are fighting in the military who don't have a conscious memory of a time that we had a different president, right? And then we lost him. And Truman had to take over. And Truman is this incredibly weak president. FDR hadn't even been transparent with Truman about the existence of the Manhattan Project to develop that weapon, right? And when Truman has to take power, he's super scared. He doesn't know what to do. He's not the man for that role. So, like, you have to take a lot of things into consideration there. You have to take into consideration the loss that the British have seen and their kind of reluctance to then go out and do this invasion in Japan, especially after seeing what the Americans had gone through casualty-wise, right? Like, there are a lot of steps to this that, like, I just don't think people look at. And these are all points that I'm going to try to, like, get to very quickly in the video and demonstrate that, like, Plan B is an awful thing to put the country of Japan and its people through. Plan B is an awful thing to put the occupied territories through. Plan B is an awful thing to put the British armed forces through. Like, Plan B is awful for our people, but I'm putting that at the end of the list because it's what people seem to hand wave the fastest, right? And so, yeah, I just think it would be important to make a video like that. You know, Dan Carlin's Supernova in the East? Yeah, you dumb fuck. What do you think we're talking about? $10 from Luke Rowlett. Big fan. Every time I read the chat, it's like a dumb message that I'm picking out today. Big fan of yours for a while. Thanks for all the review content you do. I've learned a lot of skills about communication from you, and people have actually noticed I'm speaking better. I'm excited for Carlin. Thanks. I'm happy that you're excited for it. Booksmarts Pog, happy birthday, always awesome content. Happy birthday, Pog, keeping awesome. Thank you guys. So yeah, that's that's something I'm working on. I don't know what the video is going to look like. I have some notes for the editor on stuff that we could do, but it's going to be dependent on like how well he thinks that he can put that out. Also, sorry if I've ever used she. I didn't know my editor's pronouns, and I'm awful, and I assumed it was she because I thought that at some point I had heard them refer to themselves as like a woman, but that was not the case, and now I'm embarrassed. But yeah, my editor is a dude. At least Taste is. All right, thanks for all the subs and stuff. I appreciate it, guys. I just haven't. Don't show me a roast meter. Okay. I am getting a little bit roasty. It's getting a little bit hot in here, so don't say any dumb shit on my birthday, guys, because I'm like, it's not from a place of being frustrated with you, but I will fucking roast you. Just keep this in mind, dude. Hey, homie. Sadly, I can't stay too long, but I hope you have an amazing, a good birthday, man. You really have an
Hate
amazing
Arm 1
voice.
Books
Thanks.
M1 really hate Arm 2.
Okay. Yeah, people kind of forget how much of Japan was already ruins before the nukes, literally hell on earth in major cities. Yeah, or how new it was to even do things like firebombing. Like, we had barely started to use that in Germany and seen some success with it. But the amount of success that you have in a place like the East, where a lot of these buildings are like made out of wood and fucking super flammable, right? Like, imagine the destruction that we laid upon like these three cities in particular, Tokyo, Nagasaki, and Hiroshima, and think about multiplying that out across all these different cities that could have been bombed, right? Look at the horrors that happened in Okinawa or Iwo Jima and try and multiply that out across the Japanese homeland, and you quickly realize that that's rough. And to the people who would say that, like, you know, you could have avoided bombing heavily, heavy civilian population dense centers, whatever, like, no, because you have to shut down manufacturing, and a lot of the manufacturing is decentralized in Japan. A lot of it's like small workshops that are spread out in urban areas, and it's not possible. Furthermore, a lot of the bombing technology that the Americans had developed, like high altitude bombing where you can do precision strikes from super duper high up, are not feasible in Japan. Mix the mountainous terrain with super duper cloudy weather, and you have like something where they're having to fly these bombers that are made to be like tens of thousands of feet or whatever in the air, like literally 5,000 feet above the city, right? And just level it, and it wouldn't work the way it worked in Europe. And so these are things that I think Carlin highlights and puts to the forefront in a way that I don't see happen when I look at other YouTube videos on the topic. And so these are things I want to put all into one video and then make the argument and then move on. Weren't they going to release a strain of bubonic plague in 3 weeks in Sacramento? Yeah, somebody DM'd me about that. Or I say somebody. My editor had mentioned that to me as well. Apparently this is like some kind of pop history stuff that's going around. But yeah, that's what they're planning on doing. But the Japanese are also planning on doing a bunch of like Pepega stuff, okay? Like, you have to realize that the Japanese at the end were like self-destructing. They didn't give a fuck about anything. They didn't give a fuck about their hardware. They didn't give a fuck about their naval fleet. They didn't give a fuck about their best pilots. They didn't give a fuck about anything. They didn't give a fuck about wasting a U-boat, on the Pacific coast for a dumb idea like that. They just didn't give a fuck. The way that the Japanese Navy was essentially like vanquished at the end was in like they just threw all their shit and all their last oil on a stupid fucking raid on like resupply vessels that were trying to get to the Philippines. And in the Philippines, what are they doing? Nothing fucking useful. They're just slaughtering civilians and holding that shit for as long as possible, just biding their time till the Americans come and snuff them out. So it's like, I don't know, dude. Like, the Japanese at the end of the war were just, fucking shit up and whatever. Like, Carlin has a quote in that last episode from one of the Germans, and it was something like, if we have to leave or something, if we have to leave the world stage, then we're going to slam the door on the way out. And I think that's more or less what Japan was doing as well, slamming the door on the way out and really causing a lot of fucking problems, So, yeah. Still didn't deserve it, but nobody deserves what war brings. Yeah, it's not a deserves thing. It's just like... Oh, that was a new alert, too. I don't know if you guys caught that. $50. Wow, Damon Cat Jr., thank you so much. Holy shit. I appreciate that, dude. That's a big one. Thanks. Happy birthday to me. I'll try to put that to something useful, dude. Happy birthday, Booksmarts. Thanks, brother. Literal war crimes multiply times over. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, it's just fucking rough, dude. Like, I just don't think people have that full image when they like give some kind of like virtue signal, fucking we shouldn't drop bombs or whatever, nukes bad, woo, kind of bullshit. Speaking of like genocide bad, woo, Did anybody see that tweet that's circulating where Mel had some post from a while ago talking about how she was like super duper right wing or whatever and into fascist shit, and then now she's into communism? Did anybody catch that? I did. I don't know if that's like. Wow, a super chat, $50 from Skeptical. Yo, bookfucker, happy B-Day. Hope you're spending it well. Looking forward to the new content. You deserve growth and everything that comes from it. Thanks, brother. Yeah, wait, wasn't that commonly known? I don't know, but I also am not like a historian on Mel's stuff. I generally try to avoid anything about her. But yeah, I saw that, and that's the final nail in the coffin for me. If that's really something that that was the truth, I'm sorry, but this Mel person is just like, what's a good way of saying this? Because I know that saying like out of their mind is transphobic or whatever nowadays, or at least in online discourse. So I'll try to avoid that. But I think Mel is not somebody that anybody should be looking to for like, I don't know, advice on this kind of shit. It really seems like Mel is just like a super duper reactionary person who jumps between extremes and is not good in any of the communities that she's a part of. So it's kind of like rough. I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but in any case, like if you didn't know already, my recommendation is to not engage with her. I have her shit all muted on Twitter. I try not to deal with it. I try not to cover her stuff in the stream, but like, yeah, there's your public service announcement. Not surprising, tankies are just right-wingers with left-wing aesthetics. I don't know about that, dude. I don't really care about any of that. Which was part of the criticism I received in my Vosh talk. I have a bunch of, in case you didn't know, Thursday, let me go ahead and get the times for you guys here so that I'm not blowing smoke up your booty hole here. But I know that we're streaming a bunch of days this week, in no small part because marketing man behind the scenes wants me to. I'm going to blame him for everything. I talked to him about this. He says he's cool with me blaming him for everything, so he's my scapegoat, bruh. He's going to be my scapegoat for all of this. On Thursday at 7 o'clock in the morning, Pacific Standard Time, we're going to do... Thursday at 7 o'clock in the morning... Pacific time, the Vosh video will drop. Now, my editor really wanted me to confirm with him that like he understands the memey nature of things and how that video is going to have memes in it that are like portraying him as like Chancellor Palpatine and shit. That's because it's a joke that I made during the thing. But he seems to understand that there's a lot of like business components to things like the divorce shit, and it's part of the entertainment aspect of this. So that's what that is. But that's really fun. We have a ton of really, really fun edits in that video. Rather than posting a bunch of small videos all the time, the strategy on the YouTube moving forward is going to be posting like 1 or 2 or 3 big videos a month, but really pushing those videos. So what I'm going to start asking of from you guys more and more is to subscribe to the YouTube channel, watch those videos, comment, like, all the shit that YouTubers ask for. But beyond that, if there's anything in there that you feel like you could share with people, then share it, you know? Post it on Discord that you're a part of. If you're, you know, in another community somewhere, go ahead and share it. You know, that shit helps. Because I really do think that, like, there is a subsect of people who, if they just see, like, one of my things, will be like, oh, okay, I dig this guy. That's a breath of fresh air. There's another subsect of the audience that will see it and immediately hate it. I'm taking these off. There's another subsect of the audience that will immediately hate it. They think I'm disingenuous. They think I'm snaky, two-faced, whatever. And those people will just never have a fun time with it. But I really want to start hitting the people who they'll watch it once and they'll be like, all right, this dude's all right. I'll watch more of his shit. And so, yeah, that's strat with YouTube. That's what we'll be doing. Friday at noon Pacific time, we're going to be going through the criticisms I received during the Bosch talk, and we're going to be playing some video games, perhaps with the audience. So if you are a VIP on Patreon, You have access to a channel and a voice channel in the Discord where we will start playing games with each other. I think Jackbox or something. You guys will have to correct me. It's Jackbox, right? What is that game thing called with all the different games? You guys know what I'm talking about?
Happy B-Day. Keep up the
You are
great
bound
streams.
to blow up. Lol. Just keep up with the algorithm. That's like saying you're bound to survive this war, dude. Just don't get shot or blown up. Like, yeah, you know. That's the hard part. But yeah, it tends to be the deciding factors to play the algorithm. I'll try my best.
My GF
Jackbox,
told
yeah.
me to, so where
So
you go?
probably gonna do Jackbox. Also, like, I might be interested in seeing if some of the people that I play party games with would be willing to play on stream, because we played stuff like Secret Hitler, and that was really, really, really fun. You would be surprised. I end up helping the fascists almost every time, not knowing that I am. So maybe I'm doomed to
Happy
be one of the
birthday.
people to be a helpful idiot for fascists. But yeah. It's kind of fun. I don't know. I want to do more fun games and stuff. The other thing that we're going to be doing is, and marketing guy is going to be mad at me because I don't think I finished this post yet, but I'm going to start saving up, and I'm going to make a donation goal to get a new laptop. When I was setting up the laptop for stream today, the USB ports no longer provide enough power to power all the things that I need to do off of them. They cannot power the lights, the camera, and my microphone at the same time. So I had to jerry-rig a way to make all those work in the computer. Honestly, this computer is kind of a nightmare. It overheats when I play video games. I can't play video games at the same time I stream. It has Wi-Fi connectivity issues. The battery doesn't last very long. It has a lot of issues. It's an old laptop. It's got a, let me see, GeForce 940MX in it and a Core i5 processor. So this laptop is old. I have a job that is like completely dependent on my ability to stream in these Airbnbs, so I need a better laptop. I'm going to start saving for it. So I'm going to make a donation goal for that. We'll try to hit that. If we don't, I can try and like supplement it or something, because we really need a laptop. This is not working. You get a haircut? No. My hair is just like very versatile. Book, I'm going to sleep, but have a great next year of your life that is unfolding. Be well and keep amazing. I'll try, dude. I'll try. How long is the Vosh vid? I find anything over like 30 minutes to be too long to watch. I don't know. How about you become a patron on Patreon and figure out? Otherwise, I'm not going to tell you. It's a secret. And I have statistics behind the scenes on how long you guys watch that for. So believe me, moving forward on the YouTube, we're being much more cognizant of like that kind of stuff. I have to listen a lot less to individual people, like this one dumb fuck in the chat who's asking how long the video will be. I have to pay a lot less attention to you guys and pay a lot more attention to what we have data for in the back end. So people tell me, oh my God, Book, you should do more Naruto panels. I totally love them. And Naruto panels get like 1,000 views over time. Like, we're not doing Naruto panels. It doesn't make any sense. Because the thing that is, you guys probably don't think this or you won't believe me, I'm always working. I'm always working on this shit. I rack in a lot of hours. If we count all the time that I'm spending reading comments, replying to emails, calling these people, communicating with the editor, reviewing stuff, all of that. Like, I'm constantly working. So the strategy moving forward with the channel is to try and buy some of my time back, right? Make sure that I'm doing the thing that I need to do, which is hosting these and streaming them and maybe doing the prep. But a lot of the other stuff I really need to delegate or not be working on anymore, because I need that time back. I need that time back to do other things like writing the script for this new video, or consuming things that are going to help me do better at this content. So a lot of the strategy moving forward is buying time back and stabilizing my life. We're like right there. I can afford to have a house that's a lot better than being in the garage. For those of you that remember earlier in the year when we were in the garage, I'm not in the broke down van. You guys, I don't know if I really explain how bad this is. The van is in a driveway that's like angled, okay? So when I sleep in the van, it's not just that I'm laying on like a memory foam thing that's like this big, like smaller than my penis. It's that it also is at a fucking angle. And it's not slatted, it's solid plywood. So, like, there's a lot of things adding up in that van to make it difficult to sleep. It's inside of a car that's not ventilated, doesn't have a fan. So, I have to be awake before like 11 a.m., or I'll start cooking in the car, or I'll start running out of air. And I have to like open the back door and hope that there's some kind of breeze that manages to make its way through. So, every time I go back to the US and I have to live in that, I'm reminded of like where I've come from, and I'm, very much so looking to have a continued upward trajectory, maybe even getting a house, right? Like if this can be successful, if I could, do better working with you guys and maybe launch some merch that you guys can enjoy, like t-shirts or pins or stickers or some other bullshit. Like, marketing guy wants me to do a lot of different stuff, okay? And marketing guy is showing me some like promising ideas. I just have to like, do a better job at communicating that stuff to you guys, communicating when a stream is happening, getting you guys in the door, doing better on the back end at replicating things like what Vosh is doing with like having a countdown timer and having everybody roll into the YouTube chat before the stream even starts, stuff like that. There's a lot of room for improvement, and that's wonderful because it means that even with the audience size that I have now, I can do a better job of communicating with you guys and letting you know when stuff is happening. And if I can get better at that, it doesn't even matter if I grow, because I'm just getting better at like utilizing the people that know about me now. So you mix that with the YouTube strategy and hopefully we grow, The other thing is pin or stickers. That's how you know Books is a weeb. I mean, the stickers just make a ton of sense. Like, I try to be transparent with you guys, so I'll be as transparent about this for as long as I can. Stickers make a lot of sense in terms of, like, getting money back per dollar of investment in the thing, right? And I think stickers are cool. I use stickers for shit all the time. Look, if I look at, like, some of the stuff that I bought the other day, one of them's a sticker. I buy stickers all the time. Where's the rest of these? Yeah, like when I go and I'm a tourist and I'm going to places, like I get stickers all the time. So it's not even that that I'm it's not even like a money thing. Like I'm just a dude that likes stickers. I get stickers all the time everywhere I go, and then I put them on stuff. So, I'm a stickers guy. I enjoy getting stickers. Prussia is not really my favorite person from Hitalia. I would say my favorite person has probably got to be some mix of like maybe America and somebody else. So I got an America sticker, and hopefully these can go on the new laptop, guys. So we'll see if we can save up for that. But yeah, my little sister really, really, really likes Prussia. So don't tell her, but this is like a little bit of a souvenir from her for her from Mexico. So yeah, I got a bunch of stickers and shit. Oh, check this out. This is like a hand done thing. Some of you may recognize who this is. This is more weeb shit. But yeah, this is a really nice little like notebook. This is going to be for my dad. That's another present. And here's a preview of what some of those postcards are going to look like. I think some of the ones that are being raffled away, which if you have no idea what I'm talking about, go on the Patreon. Anybody that pays any amount of money gets to see the Patreon post where you can enter into a raffle to win a postcard at the end of the month. I'm doing postcards at the end of every month to people that are paying for the $40 tier on Patreon. Over half of the people that are paying for the $40 Patreon tier right now, though, are donating their postcards to other people. So on top of the pre-selected number that I'm already going to raffle off to people for free, who, again, fill out that information on that form, some other people are going to be selected because of the good graces of other people in that $40 tier who have donated their postcards to other folks. So those will go out before the end of the month. I actually plan probably tomorrow to go out and buy the rest of these postcards and fill them all out and put the stamps on them, and then I'll drop them all off before I leave. I may even drop them off when I cross the border into America. It just depends on where I find a post office between now and then. But yeah, so that's a bunch of my shilling stuff and business stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes. I figure I have an obligation to just tell you guys that kind of stuff. Booksmarts, depending on your laptop, a sticker can mess with your laptop's thermals. Yeah, I understand that. I'm not an idiot. Dropping in real quick to say happy birthday and good night from Europe. Well, you've stayed up quite late, so hello, Europe. Weeb Dad, yeah, Vagamon, there you go. You guys got it. I'm proud of you. How did you meet the marketing dude? He just reached out. He said, I really like your streams. I really like what you're doing, and I'm willing to donate my time to you to maybe help with this stuff. And I think part of our understanding between each other, and I think this is getting into a place where like I have to, be more private about the information that I'm talking about with you guys. But I think that like moving forward, he may have a place in like future campaigns or like future, we talked about physical products, helping me with that kind of stuff and getting a cut of that. So I think that's what's in it for him in the future. But he offered to just give his time to me to help do all this stuff and get better at it, because there's definitely room for improvement. And to that, I'm incredibly grateful. Happy birthday, Booksmarts. I canvassed with you down in Georgia for Destiny and didn't realize it was you until halfway through. David! Oh, awesome. I remember a few particular people from there. I've never had it to where people recognize me in real life. I've never had that happen before. So being in Georgia and not knowing who knows who I am and who doesn't know who I am was like a very weird. I kind of want to talk about that, actually. Did you do that horse ride to the beach? No, I haven't. They fucking booked my dates, and then I have streaming on the other days, so I haven't been able to book it yet. We may not, because we're not doing the travel vlog, and I kind of want to put that money into other stuff. But we'll see. We'll see how things pan out, because I also want to go drinking on Saturday before I leave. And if I do that, there's obviously absolutely no way I can do the horse ride thing. But because of my income where it's at still, I can't necessarily afford to go live in America or do that. I'll tell you what. Do I want to say this? I've been looking at doing something crazy, guys. If I'm able to get this job to make maybe 1,000 to maybe 1,500 more per month, I want to go to Europe. I'm kind of crazy. I want to go to Europe because there are affordable places to live in Germany, in Spain, in Eastern Europe. There's a lot of stuff that I could go and do and see in Europe. And they have Wi-Fi that would suit the streaming thing. It would allow me to do things like stream at the time when all of the EU people are going to bed, which is a very important time slot business-wise. So, like, I would be down for it. It's just the problem is this. Let's say I have a bad month of streaming and I can't afford my next Airbnb. Because right now I'm month to month. Right now, I cross the border, I go to California, and I live in my van. Right, that option is always there for me. However, if I go to Europe, I need to take a flight back here. There's more to that. Mistakes and things going wrong are like compounded upon should I choose to do that. So while it would be very, very cool to do, it's a risk, and it's kind of like a big risk. So that's where I'm at with it. So I may have to spend another month in Mexico. I don't know. 20 Canadian dollars super chat from Brad Sampson. Happy birthday, dude. Love your streams. I'm happy you love them, dude. And thank you for supporting this. It's you guys donating and subbing, even if I have my headphones up so I don't have to hear them, that make this thing happen, and I'm trying to do my best to take all that momentum and money and capital and however you want to talk about that, the fruits of somebody else's labor or whatever the fuck, however a socialist would explain it. I'm trying to take all those funds and time and energy and really use them in the most efficient way possible. And it's just a different strat than a lot of other people who are my size are doing on the platform, and that's the lonely part about it. And I think if you saw me talk to Steven, I think it was last night or the night before, if you missed that, check out his VOD, I guess. But I talked with him and Dan, and it's like, it's getting lonelier and lonelier doing this because I'm doing more and more stuff that I can't talk with people about. I can't find help with. It feels like doing essay writing again, where it's like I can't talk to any of my friends about it. Wicked Supreme isn't doing business stuff behind the scenes the same way I am. Like, there's not a lot to talk about there. Even Too Mad, who's like a professional YouTuber, he's not doing it at this tiny scale, so it's different, you know, like so it's getting a bit lonelier. I don't have a lot of other people to talk to about like my business decisions and stuff anymore, so that's a bit sad. But I hope it all works out, and I hope I'm able to figure it out with just the help that I have. And I don't know. I'm like so because the last time that was the case, I fucked it up without the help of other people, right? My entire essay business crashed on me. So, you know, anytime we get into this like uncharted waters territory, I always get a little anxious inside. But yeah. Hold on. I got a bit of a DM here. It's from your guys' favorite person. Anywho, yeah, that's where I'm at with things. Oh, the light's getting bright. Here, I'll pull this thing down. Oh, I don't know if you guys will be able to. You won't be able to see. No, you're not gonna be able to see. It doesn't do any lines or anything. Fuck, that's unfortunate. The lighting's no good for it, but I'm starting to feel like muscles coming in. I've been doing this for like, I guess almost or just about 2 weeks now. Every single day, multiple times a day, doing the weights. They're like starting to get to be nothing too. Like it just moves. It doesn't even feel like there's like weights anymore. So like I definitely need bigger ones. I think that's such a cheat code to doing weight stuff. Like if you just have like those little dumbbells or whatever you call them, like sitting by your desk, it's so easy to just like do that while I'm like listening to a review or taking notes or, you know, whatever. So, one thing I've learned from this Airbnb that I'll take with me moving forward is like having an adjustable weight set, even if it costs like $100 or $150, like having that in the office just there so that whenever I'm fucking around, I just have something to do. That's a lot better than like twirling a pen or picking my nose or whatever the fuck else I choose to do with my hands. Like, so I'm thinking about that more and more. I'll probably, I've learned a lot. That's really helpful for like making sure I get something in there. Bowflex says, oh, dude, ow, bruh. Oh, pretty nice adjustable dumbbells. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about, oh, dude, just put a Bowflex in your office. It's basically like a comfortable chair. You'll find yourself just randomly using it. And I do all my work from my Bowflex home gym system, and you would just be surprised. I'm just listening and doing my thing. I thought that's where you're going with it. Get a weight bench for the van. I need to get rid of the van as soon as possible, I think. I feel bad for my dad that it's just like taking up half of his driveway. I know he's probably not happy with that. Booksmarts, you're going to overwork one side because the other side is your note-taking side. Well, I don't like take notes at the same time I'm doing the thing. Like, I mean that like if I'm listening to something like the Vosh conversation back and I'm listening for things that I did wrong, like I'm just like this and I'm like, you know, I was just like rocking out. Resistance bands are the ultimate travel workout system. Yeah, they are, but I'm afraid of fucking resistance bands. I don't want to hurt myself. How do you lose weight while keeping those CACs? What the fuck does that mean? They pricey. They are pricey, dude, but it's not that big of a deal. Bowflex gamer chair. Yeah, maybe they should make that, honestly. Yeah, I really want to show you guys the muscle. Like, man. Here, maybe. I'm obsessed. I need to brag. Ah, the fucking light. We'll see if I can. We'll see if I can do it, dude. I don't know about this. I don't know. You're not gonna be able to tell. Who fucking cares, dude? I'm becoming obsessed. I mean, if you settle down somewhere, getting a power rack and a plate set is not that expensive. Yeah, that's assuming I settle down somewhere. Remember, I have been rejected for like every single place I've applied to. But what I am learning is if I put aside maybe like between like 10 and 20 grand, I could probably have a down payment for a house in other parts of the country. So we can see the peak. Yeah, but I got these fat fucking arms, dude. I got all this fat in my arms, so you can't like... It's not like when I was younger and thinner, where like any little bit of like mass you put on is kind of like very, very visible and you can tell. Like for me, it's like when I cross my arms and I like have my hands there, like I can feel like I'm like, oh, my like muscles are pushing back against my hands. That's uncomfortable. Happy birthday, dude. I've been really enjoying your content lately. I'm happy that's the case. Just take care of form because hurting yourself ain't worth it. Yeah, I look out for that stuff. Hey, Booksmarts, I'm a software engineer. If you ever want help with anything where I could help, I would be down. Not really sure how often that would be, but yeah, LOL. Yeah, I would be happy to have help. We might need help with a website, but it sounds like software is not the same thing as a website. Losing weight is easier than building significant muscle. Keep it up, bro. Yeah, and I'm not even focusing on the losing weight thing, really. It's mostly just I want to be strong. I don't want to be weak at this point. Better to be thick smarts than to be swole smarts. Maybe, maybe, bro. That's a I'm a cutie pie reference, ain't it? Not intentionally. I didn't try to. Eat lots of quinoa. Now, every time, like... This is one of the only reasons why I don't want to bring that shit up on stream is because everybody comes out of the woodwork. And as much as I appreciate the DMs from people who I'm sure like have good intentions, don't DM me with your health advice, please. And this is not a dig on the people that have done it. It's just you're wasting your time because I'm not going to do anything with it. And these are the same people that are going to put a bunch of time and energy into those messages. So don't tell me anything. I don't care to hear it. Don't tell me about resistance bands. Don't tell me about no Bowflex. Don't tell me eat fucking quinoa and the blood of the lamb. I don't need to know it. It's okay. Just keep it to yourself because I'm not doing anything with it. I don't think positively of it. Just bear that in mind. I don't want to come off like a dick, but like I will do nothing with that information because I don't care. I've been trying to lose weight for the last month. I've gained 10 pounds. What happened? I don't know, dude. Maybe you put on muscle mass. Who knows? You should take steroids and become the biggest streamer. Yeah, these are not helpful remarks. Yeah, it's probably not a good use of DMs. No, it's really not. And it takes up a significant portion of my time. I think responding to people that have given me health things, I've actually started time tracking it. This week alone, or maybe the last 2 weeks, it's been like 4 hours I've spent on DMs and messages about fitness. Don't, because I'm starting to not reply. I'm starting to just archive them because they're not worth replying to. So I'm not trying to be an asshole, but remember when I talked about buying time back, right? Like I can't spend time on that stuff anymore. You guys are not getting replies because it's like there's nothing to reply to there. I have to like say thank you and just like move on. But I moved more and ate also more. I don't know what to tell you, brother. Use the crystals book. They will give you positive karma for exercise. Oh, okay. Can I send you DMs about, how about we don't DM me about anything for right? Chill it. Don't give me DMs. I don't need them. Learn Spanish and you'll become the best version of yourself, sir. Well, that's, that's up for debate. Anywho, what else do I want to talk about today? I don't think anything. How long have we been going? Because I kind of just wanted to say hi and rake in the birthday hellos and, because they were spamming the Discord. I appreciate all the birthday messages. I tried to emote to every single one. I see you guys. Thank you. I talked to Supreme about this the other day. It's such a weird experience So I travel alone, right? I'm very, very alone. I'm not. I don't think I've gone on any like real what I would consider dates. Like nothing that's turning serious at all. I'm pretty alone when I travel, but I try not to downplay the fact that I can go on my phone at any point in time and see a bunch of people saying nice things about me. At any point in time, I can do an @ message on my Discord and have people to talk to. At any point in time, I can look at my YouTube comments and feel good.
Happy birthday, Book Boy. It's been a wild ride so far. I'm proud to have seen you grown so much and am excited to see where we are headed from here. Lots of love, 20.
Thanks, dude. Keep it real. Keep it real. I appreciate it, Earthling. Earthling has been around for a long fucking time. So, like, I just want to give 2 seconds to be like, thank you, Earthling. Earthling has been somebody who was around since I was in my very first office, back when I was still doing essay writing work, and we were doing Tutor Tuesdays. That's how long ago Earthling has been around for. Earthling, Mudkip, Dr. Kill Patient, a lot of Amanda Joy, a lot of the people from like way back when I played Minecraft and did Tutor Tuesdays. I don't think I forget about you guys. I remember you guys. Even Mudkip, who I haven't seen around in a long time. Like, there's a lot of names that I do remember from like when I first started, and it's cool to see you guys sticking with it, you know, because we've really changed a ton. I could see how a bunch of people like that came for the early content didn't stay for the last of it, you know. So I'm happy to have kept you guys. Booksmarts, I could help with a website for free, Pog, but yeah, I would need to brush up on website related stuff. Okay, yeah, just let me know, DM me, or email me. Can I chat publicly about the idea of DMing you and get chatters to help me construct the perfect DM? I don't want to hear about it. I get what you're saying about the DMs. I'll send you a DM about how to manage DMs later. You guys are killing me. You need to shout out the subreddit more often on streams. You're right. You're right. I want to fight you, but you're right. Yeah, we have a subreddit, r/booksmarts. If you have funny memes, pictures, anything, criticism, you were super happy about a stream, you think I missed something, whatever the fuck you want to do, post it on the Reddit. We have a Reddit, r/booksmarts. Oh, YouTube chat. I'm looking at you. I fucked up. I'm sorry, YouTube chat. I lied. I lied to you, and I'm sorry about that. And I gaslit you. I told you that things were one way, and they weren't that way. I told you Nightbot worked, and it didn't. But I fixed that, bitch. It had another fucking checkbox in it. That's not my fault. That's not my fault. That's not my bad. I fucking set everything up. I spent hours copying and pasting by hand. All these fucking things, dude. And what happens? Nightbot doesn't do a goddamn thing because there's another fucking switch you have to flick so that it joins your channel for some fucking reason. I authorize it to literally fucking look at my goddamn email and password and change any fucking thing it likes on my entire fucking channel. Oh, but I have to click a fucking button to hit join my goddamn stupid fucking server. Fuck that shit, dude. Anywho. After a long time of being concerned about why the Nightbot wasn't working or whatever, I have fixed it. Now the YouTube chat can use commands and the Nightbot will respond to you. So if anybody wants to type in Reddit, it will give you the links to everything. So yeah, I not forgiven, liar. Vosh, it's okay, canceled. Yeah, it's about what I expected from you, YouTube chat. I'm so sorry. I don't expect your forgiveness now, but I will work to regain your trust. That's what I'll say. This is probably why you need to force some YouTube mod to do these commands. I added all of my mods to be YouTube mods. All of my mods presently that have given me something, except for Revan, have the permissions. Revan's account was weird. I looked it up and it doesn't exist for some reason. So YouTube has arbitrarily decided that Revan is not worthy of the mod badge, but whatever. Booksmart's Girthin, I don't know what the fuck that means. Nightbot doesn't let me spam and shot posts. Sad. Yeah, it doesn't, dude. Anywho, That's all of that. I think that's all the shilling that I need to do. Again, I'll say this just one more time, guys. If you really want to catch like the solid content, I think that on Friday I'm also going to do a review because there are 2 reviews that I need to do. I'm going to be talking to streamers now. I need to be better. Booksmarts needs to come out of his shell. I need to come out of my shell and talk to the Twitch world and the YouTube world. So I've reached out to Big Joel. I need to reach out to somebody who I learned the existence of yesterday. They talked to Steven about some of his most recent takes on Twitter about if you invite somebody over to your house, you should probably be okay with that person putting their penis inside of your vagina. I'm not even going to jump on that because I know that it's not worth talking to him about it because it's one of his bait things, but still. Yeah, this person held out really, really, really well. Let me see if I have their name. Silly Serious. Yes, Silly Serious. So that person's super cool. I actually took one of their audio bites, and that's now a donation message. So if you donate, I think it's over a certain amount, her voice will come on and it'll say something kind of lewd. I think she purposely said it in a kind of lewd way. She has this like Valley Girl voice that she's pretending to do too. A combination of things that I thought would make for a good little audio bite. So I made that. But yeah, I look forward to talking to her because she seems to have similar perspectives on like communication and stuff. And she has a background in philosophy to some extent. And so she seems to also realize in a way that Rem and other people don't, that there's a big difference between this academic vocabulary and the way that we use academic terms. And how do we reconcile that with common parlance in the way that normal people do, right? And she understands that and navigates that, I think, a lot better than somebody like Rem does. So she's a breath of fresh air for me, and she pays a lot of attention to what people are actually saying, what they're trying to communicate, that kind of stuff. So I look forward to reaching out to her and trying to have a talk. So I need to review her talk a little bit. I need to review the Counterpoints, Connor. I need to review his talk with Lauren Southern because next week we're supposed to have an appointment to talk on stream. So that's a little sneak preview of what we might be doing next week. So look forward on Friday and Saturday to me doing some reviews as well, on top of, going through some of the criticisms I received about the Vosh talk. So yeah, a lot of cool stuff on the horizon, a lot of cool stuff. You got permission, right? Nope, I fucking yoinked that shit, dude. If Steven can literally take Vosh saying I've outpaced him intellectually and he could just rip that shit and play it a gazillion times, I can rip that and play it a gazillion times, dude. I'm going to play in the meta. No more of this. I'm not being better than the meta anymore, If I can follow the meta and get away with it and I can pull a Vosh or Destiny and go, well, other people are doing it too, so it can't be that bad, I'm going to start doing it. Fuck that shit, dude. I don't make a whole stream off of being fucking principled and whatever the fuck about dumb bullshit that doesn't matter. So now I fucking put that shit right in there, dude. That's not very rhetorically effective of you. Nah, it is for the people who are at my wavelength, Fuck that shit. It's not important. I think her name is Sorvia. Interesting. Bad rhetoric smarts. Yeah, this is where we go, dude. This is where we go. We're going bad rhetoric style now. To be honest, I can't stand Rem when he talks. That's not nice. Can I ask an inappropriate question? No, you cannot. Let's see. You're always invited to my house, Book. I don't know where your house is. And I think that means sex, as I've learned from Steven. So I got to be careful about that one. Okay, that's the meme. You guys are all asking that. I'm not going to your house. So, yeah, that's something. Maybe I should comment on that briefly. So, yes, in the broader, advice that I would give to people, this is one of the signals where it's that's starting to indicate, they want to get serious with you. But what getting serious means could really vary. And this is something that I think... I'm already forgetting your name. Silly something. Could you guys give it to me again? This is something that she touched upon in her talk with Steven, that sex can mean a lot of things. you need to be very like touch and go with stuff, in my opinion, and you need to just be ready that like things aren't going to be the way that you thought they were meant to be. You may get with somebody and they have that condition where their shit is really, really tight and it's not super comfortable for them to have like penetrative sex, so they want to do something else, you know, like you got to be ready for like different cues meaning different things, or things working out differently than the way that you know, so while it is like a message that if you're giving advice to women, like probably don't invite somebody over if that's not a message you want them picking up, because that's what a lot of people are going to be picking up from something like that. Like, I don't think that then that means that you should take such a hardline stance about it and act like a dickhead the way that Steven did on Twitter, because that's not good either. He talks a lot about sea lioning and shit like that, but Steven is almost like the person who yells fire in a movie theater at the top of his lungs because he took out a lighter and lit it. And like, I don't know, it feels like he purposefully like causes a whole stir over very, very silly things, and he knows that he's going to do that when he says it. And then it gives him fuel to this fire of saying that, oh, the discourse online is always fucked, and anytime you say anything, people fuck it up. And it's like, no, when you purposefully designed a statement that is going to trigger people, people get triggered. And I think that's more indicative of your skill at triggering people than it is at like online discourse as a whole. Like, you're like, man, these fucking bees are so mean. Bees are fucking mean creatures, are they not? Like, anytime you throw something at the beehive, they just immediately freak the fuck out. Like, if it's not going to do anything, it's a rock. Why are you stinging it, you fucking idiots? Like, what? You're like throwing rocks at a beehive and you're complaining the bees are attacked. Like, I don't understand this. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but yeah, that's his thing. And I don't want to like, I've talked to him about it before, and I think I have an understanding of like why he's doing that and whatever. And it's part of his shtick. So, you know, I'm only going to surface level make fun of it, you know, and that's the most I'm engaging with it. And much the same way, he may surface level make fun of me for both siding something or being overly charitable. And if his community wants to jump on those memes about me, feel free, dude. That's part of my thing too. Like, yeah, I need to, even if I find somebody to be despicable, like try my best to like see from their perspective why they believe this thing and create a caricature of them and their arguments in my mind that I can contend with, I can wrap my head around, that I could defend, you know? And yeah, that's going to result in being overly charitable or being this or being that. And I'll just own up to it, you know, because I see that as part of his thing, and I just wish he'd own up to it too. But yeah, it be what it be. Steven's Twitter account is literally the masterclass of the Jordan Peterson defense. I really don't understand the reasoning behind why he's so insane. It's his job, dude. It's his job. That's what he does. Imagine that you had to argue with people all day, all the time. That's really like your best content. And then imagine that everybody who is known for arguing in the space gets so upset and sick of your bullshit that they stop engaging with you altogether. And they make it a habit of like not engaging with you in a forthcoming way when they're actually on your stream, but choosing to be an asshole off of the stream, right? And once you've hit that like 50 or so times over and over, you kind of have run out of the pool of people that you can milk for reactions and shit. So what do? You go to the never-ending supply of crazy people who are so full of themselves that they're willing to jump on a stream in front of thousands of people and argue. And that's what Twitter is. It's just a never-ending stream of those people. And so you just keep doing that. That, like, I don't know when that is going to run out for him, but probably not for a while. And if Twitter wants to reset his account every few months or whatever, then he gets a new face to try and do that. And I think Twitter is like a platform where I think he'll be able to do that for quite some time. So from a business perspective, from a content perspective, I understand why he's doing it. And until people choose to stop engaging with him, it's going to keep happening, right? He doesn't have to fix what's not broken. If people keep showing up, that's the whole point. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it, Doomfist. You should invite Steven to your house and then break out the apples to apples. Steven, if I ever invite you to my house, just know that that's a green light to I'm just kidding. My understanding is Steven only does fellatio anyways with boys, so it's not like I'd have to worry about that too much. Twitter is pretty toxic for discourse. Yeah, but it's pretty great if you want to fight with people all day. Don't have a house, Sad. Yeah, I don't have a house, dude. Like Dave Chappelle said, don't ever mess with the man's way of making money. Yeah. And yeah, that's I think that's the advice. While I agree he likes to throw rocks at the beehive, I think a lot of people went way too far. Yeah, those bees, like, I understand. Yeah, he threw a rock. That's not great. Of course the bees are going to react. But those little fuckers get their fucking stinger stuck in you, and they just pull and pull and pull till all their entrails come out, man. That's fucking crazy. You didn't need to kill yourself over it. That's a bit much. You know how they're going to react. You know the anatomy of a bee. You know what it's going to do. You know what happens if it stings you and gets stuck in you. Like, no, bruh. I'm not, like, I'm sorry, Andy, but I can't follow you. Anakin, you're going down a path I cannot follow. I can't go down there with you. Not even a step, dude. Not even a step. You don't need to defend. Like, I don't know. I don't feel any need to defend it like that, you know? I really don't. You can predict how the people are going to act. That's the whole point of the strategy is you have a predictive capacity and you know that people are going to show up to argue with you. So if we accept that, we can't really take even a step in your direction. Well, I don't think he'll ever run out of dumb fucks to argue with on Twitter. So good for him, I guess. Yeah. Yep. Basically. Anywho, let's think if I had anything else to talk about, because I really don't think I do. I would encourage you guys to listen to Dan Carlin before the next video comes out. And I would say, again, Thursday, 8 a.m., 7 a.m., some bullshit like that. That YouTube video will drop. And if you could give it a click, you give it a comment, and don't just say for the fucking algorithm, give me something. What did you like? What did you think was the funniest edit? What did you appreciate having in there? What is something you didn't appreciate? What is something you feel like, hey, I know it probably took some time to edit this thing in there, but we really don't need that, and I don't think it added anything. Helpful comments like that. Part of what we're going to do on Friday when I talk about like the Vosh criticisms is I've selected what I think are good, constructive criticism and what I think is useless, unhelpful criticism. And if you guys want a sneak preview of that, I can like pull some up right now. But I think that's going to be a helpful thing to point out when I go through the criticism is like, what is a criticism that a creator can do something with? And what is a criticism that a creator cannot do anything with, right? And like, how can you kind of reword what you're doing to make sure that it gets interpreted by the creator in the way that you want? Because a lot of you motherfuckers spend a bunch of time writing this shit up. And I kind of feel bad that it's never going to get read because you opened up. Booksmarts is a slimy dumb fuck. The idea that blah, 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 like, okay, well, I stopped listening when you said I'm a slimy dumb fuck, right? That's where 99% of creators are going to stop listening to you. So if you're going to have that line, maybe keep that one in your back pocket. I'm not going to say don't use it, but maybe you want to use it at the end. That's kind of a strong open, right? That's like Destiny demanding for sex at your front door, right? That's not something you want to do. And so, you know, I have a bunch of ones that are good and a bunch of ones that are not helpful. Another one is like saying that I have a bias for Destiny. There's nothing I can do about that. And if you don't have anything else in your criticism, I have nothing. Like, if you don't even give me an example where that bias had clouded my judgment, then it's like doubly unhelpful, right? So we're going to point out, like, what are things that are helpful? What are things that are not helpful? Another one that's not helpful. This guy is nitpicky and he tone polices. What did I tell you that I do? What do I do on this website? What is my whole purpose? Like, if you tell me I'm tone policing, okay. And are you yelling at the sky that it's blue because you want it to be purple? Like, what kind of stupid fucking statement is that, right? Like, are you going to look at a fucking fish and say, yeah, I don't like that thing swims. Kind of weirds me out. Well, then get the fuck out of the ocean, you dumb fuck. What do you mean? If you're afraid of shit that swims, then how about you go 100 miles inland where I can't hear your stupid fucking opinions about fish? Go away. Like, who cares? It doesn't help me at all. It's just like a useless thing to say, right? Like, that's not helpful at all. It doesn't do anything. So, yeah, there's just like a few different things I hear repeated time and time again, and they're not helpful. And then there's ones that are like pet peeves of mine, like,
This guy is supposed to be the fucking master rhetorician, but he doesn't even know the technical definition of this fucking term. In philosophy, we use blah blah. Oh, okay, let me stop you right there because you said in philosophy. My bad. Did I fucking, when I walked into this chat room with Vosh, did I miss the sign on the door that said Philosophy 101? Did I miss that? Fuck, dude. Where's my registration papers? I didn't even know that I enrolled. What the fuck? Philosophy 101. Did I fucking sign? No, I didn't. Oh, my bad. Because when you're commenting like that, it makes me think that maybe we're in a completely different setting, right? Or when I mentioned that maybe some terms like walking back and shit are things that like other people are using, like, you know, I don't know how many breadcrumbs I can leave you and you follow along, you know? So yeah, there's just like some shit that's just not helpful. Yeah, happy birthday. Thanks, brother. Hi, Bug. Been a long time YouTube watcher and came in to wish you a happy birthday. Hypers. Thanks, bro. The cause comment section was full of shit like that. Sucks by that convo went well. Yeah, like, to be clear, the comment section was not full of a lot of that. I will be honest about that. I looked at that comment section. It's not full of that. And here's another thing that I discovered that has really made me feel good. All of those comments are coming from maybe 1 to 5% of people. And actually, the majority of them are coming from 1 or 2 people. There was one person in Vosh's YouTube comments who, I shit you not, maybe posted and replied to a dozen comments with awful things to say about me. And she just kept doing it. I'm saying she because her username and her picture would indicate that she's a woman. She just kept doing that. She would go into people who said, really nice conversation, enjoyed the talk. And she would go, how? How did you enjoy that? Right? So it was actually kind of eye-opening to go through and look at that. Like, oh, like a lot of this is just one person. I don't know how obvious that is when you look at it. And then I go on the subreddit and I'm like, it makes me wonder, you know, like, is this stuff all coming from one person? It's usually only 1 or 2 comments that are really awful and they're like downvoted into like karmic oblivion. You know, they're like negative, however many the fuck points. So it's like, I don't know. It seems like the people who probably make a habit out of being critical all the time and have nothing helpful to say, just like keep doing that, and they show up places, and that's part of the fun in life for them, is to put out these like useless comments that nobody's going to do anything with, right? And rather than be upset by it, which may be part of their goal, I just look at it and I feel bad for them. Like, do you have nothing else you could do? Do you have nothing else you love more than you hate this? Like, because if you hate this that bad, I feel bad for you. I feel like I want to go take you outside to like go to a museum or an art gallery, like, because it seems like you've never found anything that you could love. I would spend a lot more time loving something or leaving positive comments than I would like sitting there shitting on somebody. Usually when I dislike somebody or something, I have a little smirk on my face or I roll my eyes and I keep moving. Like with the Mel thing, like, oh, that's funny. She used to basically be like a Nazi. Like, that's kind of funny. And then I move on. She slipped through the mute filter. I saw a little bit of stuff about her, and then I just kept moving because I don't care. I don't want to waste time on it, right? The only utility in that is to bring it up on here as like a joke or something. But like, you know, I just can't imagine these people that spend all of their time and energy just constantly pumping that shit out as if it were their job. Like, ooh, you know, like, well, that's indicative of the kind of person you are, and I just don't know how much I can even take in good faith anything you're saying. Super chat $2 from Primary SF. Happy birthday, my sweet Hispanic pussy boy. Wow. Goobles, thank you.
Happy birthday, bookfucker. I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm going back in the VOD. Hope you're having a nice day.
No problem, dude. I'm happy you like it. For anybody curious, I wanted to order what I want to eat today, even if it costed me a little bit more money. So I had chilaquiles,
and I had chocolate milk, which is what I'm drinking now. I love chocolate milk. I know I can't have chocolate milk because it's bad for me. My tummy will tell me later that, like, ooh, you want to know why this is coming out that way? It's because you had a bunch of chocolate milk. TMI, I'm sorry. But yeah, I love chocolate milk, dude. But chocolate milk doesn't love me, so I'm having a bunch of chocolate milk today. I may go out drinking today. I'm not sure. Chilaquiles is my favorite breakfast. Mine too. I also like huevos con salchichas. That's another good one. But that's kind of ghetto. My dad used to make that for me a lot. So I like huevos con salchichas. And in Tijuana, I think there's something about mixing ham or like jamon, salchichas, and I think a couple of other things. And that's meant to be like Tijuana style or something like that. So yeah, it's been interesting having different tastes. And salchichas is like hot dogs or like mini sausages or something. So like when I say salchichas, that's what I mean. And huevos con salchichas is you scramble eggs in a pan and you mix in like really like in my case, I like chopping them up to be kind of small, really, really thin slices of hot dog. And that's why I'm saying it's like a super cheap meal because eggs are cheap and hot dogs are cheap. But yeah, chocolate milk and tequila. Ugh, I don't know about that. That sounds like a good metaphor for your current situation. What? What are you talking about? Treat yourself, Books. It's your B-day. Yeah, bro. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm having my chalky milk. It's good stuff. I ate cold rice as breakfast at 3 a.m. Look at me go. Well, there you go. You're eating leftovers. That's good. Is Booksmart's Mexican? Only a little bit. I'm like a quarter Mexican, quarter Costa Rican, and then a half. I almost just made a really yikers joke. Half white, we'll say. Half colonizer. There we go. That's a more appropriate. Like, in my like private life, I love making jokes that are on both sides of the yikers spectrum. I love making jokes that are like funny from some kind of like fascistic evil fucking twist, and I like making jokes that are like evil from some like communist fucking bootlicker we're living in utopia kind of thing. I love using both of these, and anytime that there is like some political issue or something in private, I love making jokes that are like at either of these extremes because people understand the extremes much more than they do the nuance in between. So like jokes made in these areas are really fun.
What is that?
Halfers unite.
Thanks. But on a platform like this, like the right side of things is not allowed at all. And if I started doing that, you guys would start to suspect that like that's my beliefs or some stupid bullshit. So unfortunately, I'm like limited to making lefterly jokes because lefterly people have made it popular to understand shit like Pol Pot and Mao. And so yeah, I can't make jokes on the other side. Give us an example of one. No. Enlightened centrism lets you see both sides. Way too dank. Yeah, bro. Book even both sides jokes. Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I love when people say this both sides shit because it's like, I don't disagree with it. I do see both sides a lot of the time. I actually think it's super duper important to be able to see both sides on stuff all the time. And, what reassured me of this recently was I was listening to, and let me try and find it on my podcast app here. I was actually listening to an episode of Throughline by NPR. And if anybody is not familiar with Throughline, Throughline is a show that tries to look at historical events or topics that are happening in the modern day and looking at the historical things that have happened that have kind of told the story of whatever that thing is. So if, for instance, we're talking about court packing and the Democrats want to try and get past a lot of this Trump shit and put a bunch of new judges on the court and fuck up the numbers, they're going to look back on the Supreme Court and do an entire episode on what is the history of the Supreme Court. How did it start? How did it gain power? When have we seen court packing as a topic in the past? And they do it from this like kind of lefterly lens where we are looking at like disenfranchised people, minorities, and things like this. And so I would say it's like a pretty like lefterly leaning show if you wanted to put a political label on it. they were talking to this other lady who runs a show looking at like race relations and stories that have to do with cultures that are minorities. And she was talking about how like what I find is very, very important is to be able to understand what both sides are saying and to hear them both out. And she's like, and this is like a thing that's just not popular. And it's not popular for me to say it even now, even with how understanding and how progressed things have become, you know? Because if you can't connect to that side and you don't even know where they're coming from, they're others to you. You can never connect with them if you don't understand where they're coming from, if you don't understand why they believe what they believe, and if you're not willing to hear them. And so to me, when people make fun of both sidesing or fence sitting, when I'm saying that I can understand why this side thinks this and why this side thinks this, or understand these polar opposites, like it indicates to me a level of ignorance that I'm not sure the person is quite aware that they're demonstrating to me, right? And I never try to voice this because it's a quiet thing that I like judge people on. But anytime I hear people say this, I always do that. I always think like, it must be nice to live your life where you don't have to care about half of the people and what they think. It must be nice to just shut yourself off to dissent and pretend that it doesn't exist or it's wholly wrong. It must be nice to be so confident and sure of your own position that you feel okay with alienating and ostracizing the other side the same way they would like to do to you. Wouldn't it be nice? Because if I was able to turn off that part of my brain and do that and not think anything of it, like I'm sure it would be much easier to get by. But like, that's not the way my brain works, and it's not the way I think that we should be handling things. And it's a kind of blissful ignorance that I'm almost like, I almost envy a little bit the innocence of something like that. But like, no, you probably should understand what both sides of an issue think, because if you don't, I'm not sure you have a full understanding of what had actually happened or what the actual opinions there are. Because if you shut down half that side of the argument, you're not even willing to consider it or understand it. I don't trust your opinion on the topic very much, right? Even if you're super duper educated and you're half of it, it's like you have a very limited perspective, and I try to bear that in mind. Sounds like some fascist gobbledygook to me. Booksmarts preventing civil war one stream at a time. Maybe, dude. It sounds like some socialist gobbledygook to me. Okay. As a Mexican, it's kind of funny because our politics are so different. Everyone understands the implications, but no one cares about the details. Interesting. I feel like this has been an issue for the entirety of history. Yeah, maybe. So it's just sad to see people continue to contribute to it. Thank you for the super chat of $5, Shaky Flakes. I appreciate it. Nobody else. Okay. People have just become completely incapable of empathizing with others from different backgrounds at this point, unfortunately. I don't think they're incapable of it. They're making a choice not to, dude. It's like, I don't know. It's not my cross to bear. Other people are doing it. Other people want to do it, and that's fine. I'll do my small part to mention it when I see it, but like, the older I get, the more I realize there's a lot of shit I can't do anything about. All I can do is try to like hold myself personally to account, to believe and behave in the right way. And you have limited energy to do that. You have limited energy to control your own thought processes and to spend time and energy on stuff and understanding things. And unfortunately, that means I don't have enough to ration out to you for your dumb fuck opinions. I don't have enough energy and mental energy and time and whatever to like waste on people I think are doing it the wrong way. I have to just move past them. You know, it's a lot like we're at war and people are getting injured left and right. And it's like, I'm not the medic. I have to storm the beach. I have to make it from point A to point B, and I got to get to B. And we all had the same objective. We all had to get to B. But if I stay here and I try to help you out, you know, I can't get there. And so I have to just walk past you, unfortunately. I might shout something along the way, but I'm not carrying you all the way to B. You know, if you get left behind at B, that's fine. But I got to get to Z at the end. I got to go to B to C to D to E to F to G to H to I. I got to keep going for a real, real long time. And I just do not have time to waste on people that get lost from A to B, you know? So it's just unfortunate, but that's the way it is. 20 USD from Mega Man. I love your video game, brother. 20 USD. Happy birthday, book. Thanks, bro. Let's see. Yes, people need to understand the bad side to even make cogent. I don't know how to pronounce the word, but I understand it. Arguments against it. Duh. Why must this be controversial? I've talked to you in private, so I know that you're a big gung-ho on shit, Yakti, but like, yeah, it's controversial because it's not the way that people operate. It's like even this, Yakti, knowing that you're at that level of like understanding why it needs to be controversial, it's like you're getting lost between A and B and I can't help you either, you know? That's another thing. Like, we can't waste time like thinking about why it's controversial or thinking about why XYZ person can't, you know, keep going, you know? It's like, it's rough. Popping in just to say happy birthday, Book. Hope it's a good one, bud. Thanks, brother. It's been good having you on the panels and stuff, Frames. I appreciate engaging. I appreciate you coming on and like giving me the opportunity to have you on. Booksmart. Okay, I think I'm just about caught up. Let me make sure I have all the YouTube super chats done, and then I'll start moving into skedaddling. I didn't have anything to talk about today. We have a bunch of topics prepared for, again, the show on Friday. That would be Friday at, I believe, noon Pacific, but let me go ahead and double check that. Thursday, 8 a.m., we're dropping a new video. Please check that out, comment, etc. Let's see. Yeah, Friday at noon Pacific time, I'll be doing that reflection on the Vosh thing, maybe reviewing a conversation or two. And then on Saturday at 7 o'clock in the morning Pacific time, we'll try to do some video games, and we'll try to, again, try and save up for this laptop. I'll have the goals start for it. I really need a new laptop. If I could play Apex with Steven, that would be great. That's like, you know, it would be easy to turn on the stream and have fun with friends. And, you know, I think it's good to get you guys used to like me doing Twitch stuff as well. Like, you know, getting you used to me playing video games and chatting or looking at Twitter or like kind of some of the stuff that Steven does, you know, like that kind of mix of things. Like, I think it's good to get you guys used to that. Maybe even playing some Dungeon the Endless on Saturday, I'm not sure, or Faster and Light, which I know a lot of people like. We'll do all that. We'll save up for the laptop, and then hopefully we'll be able to game with Steven and other people. Because it's not just him. There's other people who like I would like to reach out to and to play Warzone or something with. Tabor's one of them. Tabor seems like a fun dude. He's kind of funny, and I enjoyed playing Apex with him. I'd be happy to play with him. I don't quite understand if he has a Twitch channel that he streams to or not, but in any case, he's fun to play with. You know, like, given this is my job, I think I should incorporate video games a little bit more because it's easier for me to do, and it lets me stream more with you guys. And yeah, it's just having a laptop that can do that is important, and having a laptop that can just stream in general and run enough USB ports is important. This one can't, and it's burning out, and I don't know what the problem with it is, but you know, it's a ticking time bomb, and it's all I have. So yeah, it's time for a new computer. Yeah, anywho, and we have like, this is a secret, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but like, you know, however that donation drive goes, I'm sure I'll figure out something to like make sure that we can do that. It's just like how difficult it becomes to travel and bring a computer around is dependent on how well that goes. Ideally, getting a laptop that can travel with me is good, but if not, I can figure out how to like maybe carry on my computer or that's at the office or sell the office. I don't know. There's a lot of plan Bs that are like not ideal, so hopefully that works out. But yeah, well, that's what we'll be working on. All right, I will find somewhere to put the Twitch people for today. You should play a story-based game. Gives you more opportunity. That's the problem, is like there's not a lot that I could play on the computer. Binding of Isaac, it's a Vosh thing. I don't want to play that. You were there for Destiny the way I felt compelled to regarding the rhetoric advice, so I'm happy to be your stand-in. Hey, Bug, I doubt you'll see this, but I'd love to see you talk about how to talk about queer stuff to old conservatives. Don't. Why? I've told you guys this before, but like maybe you shouldn't. Maybe that's not your place. If you don't know how to do it, maybe you should shut up. That sounds really mean, but like, Yeah, maybe that's not your place. I want to watch Dr. K more to get a better idea of how to communicate Dharma, because I think he's onto something with that. And I think it's a helpful way of communicating what I want to in like a not mean way. But like, if you're shit at communicating with people, if you get in fights with people, maybe that's not what you're meant to do, because you're doing a lot of harm, right? Because if the one conversation that conservative had in a heart-to-heart with a homosexual person was you, and you dropped the ball on it, you're kind of progressing us backwards in a way that you probably shouldn't. I think about this looking at the leftists on Twitter and stuff too. You guys are progressing your cause backwards because you're just not the best advocate for it. You're not putting in the time and energy. You don't have the talent. You don't have the skill. And you have no means of acquiring it that you know of. So maybe that's not your fight. Maybe do something else. Maybe you could like pick easier fights and do those. Maybe fighting the raid boss is not your calling, you know? That's fine. And I've had this in private with friends and stuff too, where like they're impressed with like my communicative ability, or like my ability to in private like have a poetic answer to something that's like very brief but like all encapsulating of a lot of ideas. And it's like, that's not an accident. Like, I had to write my entire life. I had to mediate all these fucking disputes between my mom and dad when they were divorced and stuff. You know, like, there's a lot I don't share on stream that like has led to that experience and that communicative ability being developed, you know? And there's probably some innate skill there as well, where I was above the curve early on with being able to communicate, right? So like, what you're seeing is somebody who has like spent a bunch of time on that and had some kind of natural talent at the start and then built on that, right? I've done college essays since I was a high schooler, you know, for people, for money. So like, it's, you know, I don't think everybody is meant to fight every fight. And I think you need to pick the ones that you're meant for and just be more aware of that. Do something else. You don't have to do that. Be the one person a conservative respects who has a contrary opinion. Sure, but I'm not a politics guy. That's why I don't argue politics with people. Booksmarts, why don't you go on panels? Because I suck ass at panels, dude. I don't do well on them. There's not a point to that. That's not my place. I hurt the brand and I hurt my purpose and my advice and everything else if I go and do those panels and be an asshole. I'm not good at panels. I'm not. So I shouldn't do them, you know? I don't care about your progressive shit. I don't. I really don't. I think it's nice, and I think on paper a lot of your guys' shit makes sense, but like, I don't take it upon myself to advocate for those because I think that they're the better thing. I have a higher threshold for like spending my time and energy on that stuff, so I don't do that, you know? I think other people, Vosh, Steven, whoever, they're much better suited to that. They should go and do that. That's not my place. My place is this. I think this is what I'm good at. This is what I should do. Just get elected already, Fivehead. As a lesbian with conservative family, I'd just avoid that altogether because I know I'd get too emotional to get through to them. Yeah, so it's like it's not necessary. I think people are too focused on making the other side look stupid I don't care. It's important to understand what we are there to do in a conversation. Not everyone needs to be a debate bro. Yeah, but if all you watch all day are Twitch people arguing and debating, that's your default mode that you're going to go to. You're going to go to that. You know, like if you read and wrote papers all the time, maybe you start sounding like a walking essay, like Jangles. Jangles, I would not be surprised, reads a lot and writes a lot. And that's why when he talks and he's prepared and he's trying to make his points, he sounds like a walking essay because that's what he engages with. But you're going to sound like a walking debate bro filled with emotion and vitriol, because that's what you watch and that's what you're going to communicate, right? It's intentionality. You have to be intentional about that stuff, and you have to practice what you're going to be doing. If all of your practice, all of your mental energy, that little hamster in your brain is just running around the wheel of debate bro people, that's what's going to come out when you argue, right? Like, so I think a lot of the people, unfortunately, that are self-selected, like watching me and watching Steven and these people, they're probably not equipped to have these conversations, quite honestly. So it's rough. Bookfucker, happy birthday. Thanks, brother. Anywho, I think it's time to go. My grandma used to say, if you search, you find, so don't search for the bad in people too hard. Okay. I think that could be worded a little bit better. You have a knack for coming off as incredibly honest. Well, there you go. Which is funny because half of the audience thinks I come across as incredibly dishonest, but we'll talk about that on Friday. I've kept you guys for long enough. I think it's time that I find a place to put you for the night. So let me jump on the Twitch and see who's live. Let's see who's live. Anybody have any particular requests? Anybody have any place they want to go to? Because I certainly don't. Let's see. We got IRI. We got. Oh, what's that? I wonder what that is. Oh, bits. Okay, thanks for the biddies. Tiggle biddies. My computer's taking 10.5 years to load.
How's it going?
Happy birthday, you woo.
Thanks. Oh, I know that's a dono. Hold on. My whole computer is frozen. Let's see what it was. $5 from DigiSteve. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see here. Where to go? What are you guys recommending? Anywho, thanks for showing up for my birthday. I'm probably going to spend the rest of it alone, but don't feel bad for me. IRI, you guys are saying, or Dylan? Okay, let's see. It depends on what Dylan is doing. What's Dylan doing today? Debating fascist on gays. Dylan, I love talking to you, and I love you as a person, and I want your greatest success, but your content, brother, is sometimes just not something I can raid into. I wish you would do more stuff that I could raid into, but debating fascists on gays is not something I really want to raid into. Vosh looks like he's doing something boring. Let's see here. Everybody else is Big Dog Andy. Yeah, let's just do IRI. Why not? I guess New York City's mayoral campaign is probably the most important thing on this list. Because it looks like Riley I would do, but she's watching a Vosh video. Yeah, let's just do somebody who's doing something relatively important. /raid, I'm really important. If you guys don't know who this guy is, then you've clearly not been on the channel very much. He's amazing. He covers electoral politics. He watches the news. And by the news, I mean mainstream news. Fox, MSNBC. Yes, they're still in business. Yes, they're still streaming that on TV. Thank you for the $5 through the super chat. I appreciate that. Something RGR and Destiny. I don't know what you're talking about. I couldn't read it. It's too small. Have a good time in IRI. Bye, party people. I'll see you guys later. And to the YouTube folks, I'll have a secret message for you guys. So just let me dump the children, put them in bed real quick, and then we'll have our little private time together, huh? All right. Bye, Twitch people. Raid. All right. YouTube people, I want to especially thank you guys for all of the engagement, showing up, chatting. You guys are bigger than Twitch at this point. And honestly, you're a more important audience to me moving forward. You're more important for the success of this channel. Your engagement on that website is more important for the continued success of me personally. And this has been something that's come out in the last few months. So thank you guys. You haven't been around since the very beginning, but you have been a welcome addition this year. And if we're spending time talking about happy birthdays and 2021 and 2020 and how those went, it's probably worth it to single you guys out and just give you a thank you, because it easily could have not worked on YouTube. It easily could have been that it wasn't important. It wasn't the play. It wasn't the thing to do. And you guys prove that wrong every day. You prove that it is the correct thing to do and that it is worth it. And, YouTube grows and Twitch just doesn't grow. And I don't know, if I was only doing Twitch, I probably would have quit by now, if I'm being honest with you. But you guys keep, you guys are the ones kind of projecting or pushing the channel forward at this point. And big thanks to you guys. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll have a video out for you on Thursday. Please, again, comments that are helpful or that have constructive criticism, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of your day. Enjoy it. Talk to the people that you love, and,
enjoy the rest of your year. I certainly hope that I will be enjoying mine.